there are teams coming into the season that you're going to say, hey, you know what? This is a Super Bowl contending team. This is a team that could reach the Super Bowl. This is a team I expect to, get to the Super Bowl or has a really good chance of getting to the Super Bowl. But who has the most pressure on not just getting to the Super Bowl, winning the Super Bowl? I don't want to hear about who can get there because, as you saw, anybody got, plenty of people have chances. Teams go on runs and all that stuff. But going into the season, Super Bowl win or bust, not Super Bowl or bust, Super Bowl win. Who has the most pressure? And here's my list. And I know Mo is going to have something to say about this, but I got Cincinnati. You got Joe Burrow, right? And they had the previous success, and he got injured, so it's always that what if on it because they're looking at winning a Super Bowl. You got the Jets, obviously, all in on Aaron Rodgers. Even the NFL is saying you owe us. That's why they got all these primetime games. Buffalo with Josh Allen, it's more about that window. How close will that window be closed? I got Baltimore in there as well. Look, Lamar, 2 MVPs. They went 14 and 3 or something like that for the season. So coming off that, you had a chance to go to the Super Bowl, didn't work out. Definitely going to be looked at. And then my Detroit Lions. My Detroit Lions is they were one game away from the Super Bowl. This is that process that I was talking about before. Before it was learning to win, then it was actually living up to winning. Now it's, hey, you're the hunted. You're not no longer a hunter. Everybody's going to be coming after you. So you got that pressure. But the team that has the most pressure out of all the teams that I just listed is the San Francisco 49ers. They're way beyond of that. They had to win last year. Actually, they had to win 3 years ago when Jimmy Garoppolo was there, and for them to be able to still get back to the Super Bowl, and these are games. It's not they didn't go to the Super Bowl and get blown out or anything like that. They played very well, and I know people gonna say, "Oh, you left off the Eagles and all that stuff. You left off the Cowboys." Yeah, I did. Yeah. So, and but we're talking about the 49ers. This is the team I believe has the most pressure. Some of it is because is this Ayuk deal is going to get done? I know Mo believes it's going to get done. I do think it's going to get done, but it's like Debo, Kittles. How much longer can you keep those guys there? Because I truly do believe they're trying to win this thing before it's time to pay Brock, which is coming up soon, and it's going to be even harder to try and repeat this business. So this is last year was the year, but the team with the most pressure to win the Super Bowl by far, more than anybody in the world, is the San Francisco 49ers.
It has to be the 49ers. I mean, you go to the Super Bowl in recent years, what, 3 times, and every single game, you're in a position to win that game. You the Golden State Warriors of the NFL. You got the team. You got to pay Brock, and that team is getting no younger. So
Exactly.
it's got to be the 49ers. But I'll say this, I don't think you can leave the Cowboys off that list
Why not?
because the Cowboys are supposedly built for a Super Bowl every single year. Every
Hey,
single year.
you said
Every
a key
single year.
word there. You said a key word there. Did you
Okay.
pick up on what you said?
Catch me up.
Supposedly.
I mean, but
That sounds
listen,
that sounds like a
you can't
preordained Cowboys fan.
you can't leave out the fact that this is supposedly America's team. It's America's team every year. Every year, I don't care what that team looks like. You talking about them as contenders. You talking about them as when was the last time the 49ers were not the favorite to win that division? Aside from maybe a year or two ago. But I mean, you can't leave them off the list. And I agree with you. It's the 49ers hands down by far. I think it's a one-team list. They
Mhm.
they gotta be under the most pressure because Kyle Shanahan should, in my opinion, he should be on the hot seat. I feel like he should be
Mhm.
on the hot seat because of all of these games that you're in and your game plan, your strategy in these games, late in these games, right? It's questionable. And nobody really wants to come out and say it. But I mean, listen, what has changed? Your roster is the same. These players are more experienced and in some cases better players than they were when this team was first put together. So It's the 49ers hand down, but don't leave the Cowboys off the list. They don't get off the hook that easy,
No, 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 no. Here's
especially with what
why.
they paid
Here's why
Dak
I left.
Prescott.
Here's why I left them off, and this is where we're gonna get into an argument. But it's all right. It's all right.
Okay,
Difference of
change my
opinion.
mind, Jelani.
Yeah, yeah. That's what I
Change my
like.
mind.
That's what I like to hear.
Okay.
Because what pressure do they have other than their fan base? That's the only those are the only people talking about Super Bowl. When you hear other media outlets, other reporters and everything, yeah, does the Cowboys have the talent to go to the Super Bowl? Absolutely. I like Dak Prescott. I like CD Lamb. I like Michael Parsons. I like who they got, on their team. And I believe that they're I picked them to win the division this past year. So it's not me hating on them, but when it comes to the pressure of the Super Bowl, I need you to get past the second round. You can't have a game where you play Green Bay and Jordan Love and them come in and they carve y'all up, carving you up. You need to be able to get out and get to the NFC Championship game. Do that first before you do anything else. You need to, just like you talk about the 49ers running the division, you need to run the division. You haven't ran the division because the Eagles and the Giants have been winning that division. Washington won it, a few years back, but you haven't supplanted yourself as running the NFC East. You gotta get all of that stuff. And I know you're gonna say, well, Jelani, you put Detroit in there, and the only reason I put Detroit in there is because the way that game played out against San Francisco. So people are going to be expecting that. Dallas, everybody is always waiting for them to fail. What are they going to do? How are they going to self-implode? What is going to happen with Dallas for this be the reason why they didn't win? I need them to get over that hump first. They get over that, then we can start talking about Super Bowl pressure. But the only Super Bowl pressure is coming from their fans. That's it.
No, that's not true. That's not true because you set a standard. You set the standard for yourself, and with that standard comes that pressure. You set your standard with the contract that you gave Dak Prescott. You set the standard for bringing in a Super Bowl champion head coach. You set the standard by what you didn't do in the offseason, right? You told the whole world we're good enough. We don't need to make these changes, right?
Uh-huh.
We're good enough to go out and contend with the best of the best.
Uh-huh.
So yeah, that's pressure. You got pressure on yourself now because now you got to show me, you got to prove it to me. You got to
So
prove it to the world. You got to prove it to the rest of the league that, you know what, we got what it takes. We should be here.
yeah, and you said something key that I picked up. Standard. They set the standard with everything that you just said, right? But they set the standard by you living off the standard of Troy Aikman, Michael Irving, and Emmett Smith. They are still using that standard from the 90s. That's what they're living off of. They're saying, "Oh, we can get back to that. We can do that again." Okay, I need you to
Where
get to the NFC Championship game. Do that first. Do that first, and then we can talk. But I'm not putting them on there until you have something on your resume of the current players that doesn't show me an early exit out of the first round or me going into the second round of the playoff and then I get mollywopped by a dude starting his first year full time.
okay, I'm gonna say this and I'll leave it alone. The NFL schedule. Have you seen the Cowboys schedule this year? Because I'm going to
Uh,
base that pressure on that schedule, right?
I I skimmed over it. I saw like yeah they got like obviously their division. They got us again. They may have the 49ers. They got the Browns, which is the Browns are going to be tough. Yeah, I mean they don't have an easy schedule. Not to me, I
Well,
don't think.
looking at that schedule, it almost looked like 13 wins. But
Okay,
that's my opinion. That's based on the games that I feel like they should win.
and
13 wins.
they could win 13 games. I don't doubt that.
Okay. Well,
I'm just saying their pressure is get to the NFC Championship game. That's where I would put their pressure. I'm not going to put Super Bowl
that's what I
on
love
them.
about the NFL. That's what I love about the NFL. You never know what's going to happen. But
Never know.